Hello and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through everything that I pack in my swim bag. Make sure you stick around and watch the whole video as I've chucked in a few tips that I think you'll find helpful for when you next go to the swimming pool. Now let's jump straight in and take a look at the first item. So the first item you can't really go swimming without is a pair of swimming trunks. Now these are a pair of Speedos. I've got another pair that are black and white and I've had them both for years. To be honest, they could probably do with replacing as I've had them for so long, but they seem to be in reasonable good nick still and don't have any holes in, so I keep using them. Next up is a pair of goggles. These I think are called the Zogs Predator, and they've been really good, really comfortable to use, and I've had them for quite a few months now and I've had no issues. I did originally try a different pair of Zogs. I think they were very similar to these, but they were definitely white and red, and I had a nightmare of them. They literally snapped after 2 uses. But touch wood, these have been absolutely fine. I've had them for quite a while now and they're still going strong. No need to replace them. So after that first pair of goggles snapped on me mid-swim, I think I'd only done about 4 lengths actually, and had to get out and get changed again, I decided a spare pair of goggles to keep in my bag was probably a good idea. Now because I had trouble with Zogs originally, I thought I'd try a different brand, and I got these that were quite well reviewed. These are a pair of Speedo goggles. Now they're great at not letting water in and do look quite nice on the face, but to be honest, they're awful for comfort. To be honest, I haven't worn these very much at all. After I found out how uncomfortable they were to wear, they just stay in my bag as a spare. The next item is pretty self-explanatory if you want to get yourself dry after swimming, and that is a towel. I tend to take medium-sized towels with me to the pool, big enough for me to obviously dry my entire body, but not so big that they're taking up more space in the bag than they need to. Now before we move on to the next item, I'm going to jump in with my first tip, and that's to wear your trunks to the swimming pool. You won't believe how much time I've saved over the years by having my trunks on ready underneath my trousers. You get there, you're already ready, and you don't have to worry about finding a change room. It takes me literally 2 minutes to arrive in the change room, get my clothes off, and then I'm ready to swim. Just don't forget to pack a pair of underwear for you to change into when you get out of the pool. That is a mistake I've made many times in the past. Now when it comes to swim hats, I've tried a few, mainly using the ones that I've received as part of a race. I was previously using the hat that I got from finishing the Weymouth 70.3 last year, but one day when I was putting it on, I found it tore slightly, so I decided not to continue using that. And so instead I went back to one I already had, which is this blue Speedo one. This one is quite a bit thicker than the others and so less likely to tear, and it's actually the most comfortable one I've used. It was super cheap to buy, maybe £5 off Wiggle, and I don't intend on changing it anytime soon. And even when you've got a head the size of mine, this one will definitely fit. Next up on the list is something you may not see in other people's swim bags as frequently, and that is goggle spray. Now, I'm not sure if this makes a huge difference, but I tend to use it nonetheless. All it takes is a quick spray into each lens of the goggle before you go into the pool, give it a quick wipe down with your t-shirt, and it just cleans it off nicely. Now, although this bottle is quite small, you'll find it lasts quite a long time, even when you swim regularly. Just limit the number of sprays you give to your goggles. It was also pretty cheap to buy as well. I think I only bought it originally as part of a Wiggle order to make up for the free delivery. But yeah, something that I still keep in my swim bag today. Tip number 2 when you go to the swimming pool: if you're using a locker, don't try and keep the key on your wrist. Do what I've done and wrap an old hairband around a drinks bottle and keep it on the poolside. I attach the key to the hairband, and so it saves the key digging into my wrist or potentially getting caught on the lane line. Plus you'll find that the keys never seem to fit anyone's wrist and are really quite awkward to wear. And so that tip leads us nicely onto the next item that goes into my swim bag, which is a water bottle. Now I don't tend to drink from a bottle during a session, but I will have a swig of water both before and after. Something I've started to do recently as well is chucking in a scoop of electrolytes into my bottle, just on the off chance that it helps mitigate the chances of cramping. You also now know that it does a perfect job at keeping hold of your key. Next item that goes into my pool bag is a pool buoy. Now this is something that's only recently become part of my swim bag. I actually invested in one when I had broken my foot and I was using swimming without kicking as part of my rehab. I don't tend to use it a huge amount these days, but I still chuck it in my swim bag given how big it is, and it's there if I decide I want to use it. When it came to ordering the pool buoy, I did a bit of research, as some mixed reviews were saying that some of them were a lot smaller in person than the pictures implied. I ultimately settled on this one from Finis, I think that's how you pronounce it, and I found it's really the perfect size for me. The idea behind a pool buoy is that you use it to limit the amount of kicking you're doing. So for me, being 6'5" with quite big thighs, I needed it to be big. The others I was looking at appeared to be quite small and so wouldn't really be fit for purpose. So yeah, this one from Finis, Highly recommend. So this brings us to the latest addition that goes into my swim bag, and it's one I've only had for a few weeks. It's a snorkel. If you've watched one of my previous videos where I did a swim analysis with Jack Hutchins, you'll see that he recommended me buy a snorkel as a way of improving my technique without having to worry about breathing. I'm still trying to get the hang of using a snorkel, and so it doesn't feature heavily throughout my swim training. I'm going to be honest and say I have struggled using this on the few times that I've tried it. I don't think that's the snorkel's fault. I think the snorkel's absolutely fine. It's just me for some reason. After speaking with Jack, I found out that you're meant to do all the breathing through your mouth and nothing through your nose. Well, I'm finding either I'm breathing in through my nose or out through my nose, even though I'm not intending to. So my plan of action to correct this is to try using a nose clip at the time. If I pinch my nose while I'm using a snorkel, it's absolutely fine. But obviously you can't swim when you're pinching your nose. So once I've ordered a nose clip, I'm going to start using this a bit more. Now it is an awkward shape, as you can tell, but it still fits in my bag just fine. Speaking of bags, the one that I use is this one. This is the one I got for entering the Ironman Weymouth 70.3 last year. Really good size, really good quality bag. So yeah, really pleased with this. So that's everything that goes in my swim bag and I take to the pool on a regular basis. I'd be curious to know what's in your swim bag, so make sure you tell me in the comments below and I'll see if there's anything useful that I could add to mine. If you click on the screen just there, you can check out my latest video, which is a full day of triathlon training. If you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you could drop it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.